Hello, this is Chris Norman. Welcome back to another episode. Well, finally here, we're finally going to show you some do's and don'ts when it comes to actually inspecting your hives. So make sure, of course, as the previous video, make sure you actually have a veil on. Depending on the behaviors of your bees, always good to do inspection to make sure you have your full suit on. I have a smoker working. I don't have any gloves, so what I'd like to do is just go ahead and smoke your hands. This kind of help mask the smell. Of course, you can use leather gloves, but again, as mentioned in other videos, sometimes it gets very challenging to grab onto frames, and it is possible to actually start squishing bees. And of course, they're not gonna like that and sting you. So it's always nice to just be comfortable going in there with your hands or with disposable gloves. On the topic of being stung, just to let you know, as a beekeeper, you're most likely going to be stung at some point. And so hive etiquette, you can see here some bees are coming around me a little bit. So one, it's important to be comfortable with bees coming around. Sometimes the best way is actually to step away from a hive if they are being defensive. Defensive bees can happen for multiple reasons. They could have an infestation. They could have been bugged by yellow jackets. Many different reasons can help them kind of get more agitated regarding that. So let's say, for example, you do get stung, let's say on the hand or some other area. First, you want to go ahead and smoke the area, right, to mask the smell, because remember, those pheromones are still coming from that area, and that it's actually still pumping venom. You would never want to take the stinger out with your hand because you actually can squeeze the venom directly into your body. So what we use actually in all our little kits is actually this little kind of card here. Swipe the stinger off, go ahead and mask the area, and you're ready to get back to work. And so obviously when you do get stung, depending on that area, we're not a doctor, so see an allergist for more information regarding that. But a lot of times you just remove the stinger, you continue on. Sometimes if you do get more of a moderate reaction, perhaps Benadryl would be helpful, but again, we're not doctors, so see an allergist regarding specifics of when you do get stung. Okay, so first, when it comes to the hive, we're going to do inspection. There has to be a reason to go into this. So in this particular hive, this is a swarm, and I want to kind of see whether or not the queen is in there. Did they have a queen? So it's been about 5 or 6 days, slightly early. I like to wait a week, but in this case for the video, I want to at least get on to show you guys. One thing when it comes to the colony, you would never want to do inspection in front of the colony. This is always a bad idea. The bees are coming in and out of that. The guard bees are very touchy, right? So you never want to actually stand in front. You can see that I'm staying to the side of the colony. This is probably the best area to do that. So, okay, so now we're ready to get inside of it. Our hands are smoked. Now what you want to do is you want to, as you can see, there's a lot of guard bees here in front of the hive. You can see they're trying to alert intruders. And so what we want to do is actually want to do a few puffs of smoke near the entrance here. That helps to kind of dislodge the bees a little bit. We're able to kind of get in there. Now, I'm going to prop the lid up, and again, do a few puffs of smoke. I'm going to put the lid down and just wait a few seconds until that smoke has went in through there, and now we're ready to move forward. So, I'm going to go ahead and prop the lid open, just like this. And you can see there's a few bees on here. Sometimes there's a lot more bees. Let's just sit it right in front of the hive. You always want to look for the queen on all these avenues. If you have a queen excluder, inner cover, whatever you have, make sure to look at the inner side to make sure the queen's not located there. Either way, though, I like to leave it in front of the colony. That way, in case any stragglers, they're able to find their way inside. Okay, this is a little propolized, but if it is propolized, that's what your hive tool is for, right? So you're going to kind of gently prop open the colony like this. And again, always very slow movements. We don't want to do a lot of fast movements. And you can see here, bees are here. I don't see the queen. I'm going to leave this face up right in front of the colony, right? Just in case you need to go inside. Now, as I'm opening up the hive here, a few, again, do's and don'ts regarding your inspections. We mentioned you want to have a purpose. For new beekeepers, we suggest once a week going into the colony, no more than that. Any more than that, you have to have a specific reason for doing so. A lot of times, they don't want you to be in there every few days. It's going to actually stress them out a lot. So limit it to about once a week in order to go into the hive, or they can actually abscond from that many intrusions here. So as I take open a frame here, it's important. Now, these are foundationless. You could have foundation, that's fine. When I'm taking it open, I'm not dragging it across, right? I'm not dragging it or doing that. It's going to bother the bees. I'm also not flipping it this way, okay? You do not want to flip, especially foundationless frames. What's going to happen is that's going to bloop and just pop on out. Also, it's not good for nectar. If there's fresh nectar, it's going to fall out. It's best not to ever do this maneuver. When you're pulling them out, make sure you're not rolling any bees. Pull them out, and you're going to have the sun to your back like it is. The sun's behind me. And you're going to look into the frame. And I can always pivot it in order to look at the other side. And that's probably the best way to actually handle a frame. So you pivot to turn it over and pivot back. And always put it back exactly the angle and direction you found the frame in. You never want to put it in like this, right? If I took out like this, it goes back there at the same location. They built their hive, you want to respect that there. So, okay, let's continue going in here. I'm going to go ahead and go here. You know, depending on what it is, you might want to just smoke the bees a little bit, all right? So in this case, I made an issue. You can see there's some cross combing happening, so I guess that's good education here. So as you can see, I'm doing very gentle here. They're building some comb, okay? Now the sun's my back, so I'm doing here again is I'm looking for a specific purpose. In this case, I'm wondering if they actually have a queen. So I might blow a little bit on it, look inside the cells. In future videos, we'll talk much more about reading the frame. But in this case, what I'm looking for is just as if there's eggs, if there's a queen, all that kind of stuff. So, okay, it's not on there. It looks like they're putting some nectar in here. So we're gonna go ahead and put this down. I'm gonna grab the next one. Okay. Again, you see, I'm being very gentle. I'm not aggressively putting them. That's gonna put them on alert. So I'm looking here, looking for any queens. I need to look in the cell, I might blow in a little bit. Just to make sure, again, I do not see any eggs on this side. I'm going to the next one. Grabbing the next one here, and again, I'm looking for a purpose. I'm looking for a queen, looking for eggs. I see pollen here. In the center of the colony is going to be typically brood. So it's going to be kind of where you would imagine eggs being. They're very, very small at the end, in the very center of the frame. I do not see any eggs. And so this is telling me that most likely they do not have a queen. After a few frames, you should definitely see the queen laying. And but again, I don't see that here. So we might have to introduce, obviously, a queen to them or a cell, probably most likely a frame of brood, so they can make their own colony here. I'm going to check this one more, and again, this was an issue. I should not have left it so large here, so you can see how large that frame is. It's for with foundationless frames to keep them always together for this exact purpose, or this exact reason. So again, they have no eggs. At this point, there should be numerous eggs. If you have to look for it really intently, it's probably not there. So I'm going to put this one back. And might look one more time. Actually, they're festoning there, so I'll leave them be. Okay, so I'm going to do here is I'm just going to push these frames together. I now know that they do not have a queen. In this case, just for ease, I'm actually going to put another foundationless frame in the center. They're going to give them some room, and then we're going to have to, unfortunately, cut this out eventually to help them here. Okay, so I had the purpose. I wanted to see whether or not they have a queen. They do not have a queen, so I'm now putting it back. So again, this is there, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, right? You mentioned, I saw you, I put it exactly where the colony was, right? I'm flipping it over, and I'm looking for the bees. I'm shimming the lid a little bit. Make sure I don't squish anyone. Once you squish bees, alarm terminals go out, and it's not great. And there you go. That is a basic inspection. So again, just a review. So make sure if you do get stung, you want to walk away from the area if possible. If you get stung somewhere, have something to remove it. Some people do use a hive tool, some use a credit card. If a bee does get into your veil, you want to go away from the premises. Go away from the hive before undoing your veil, especially with so many bees around. And of course, be gentle throughout the process and have a plan going in. Also, take notes as well. As you can see here, there's some numbers that we identify with hives. If you have one or two, that might be an issue, but overall, take notes and be aware. And that's it. So we appreciate you're joining us on this journey. Happy beekeeping.